mission without being pulled into emotional storms that aren't yours to fix. When a man chooses peace, he's not being cold or distant, he's being wise, because peace is what allows him to remain masculine in a world that constantly tries to provoke emotional reactions. The modern man is often told that being passionate, expressive, and available at all times means being loving, but passion without peace turns into exhaustion. You can't lead, protect, or provide when your mind is constantly recovering from emotional damage. A man who is at peace doesn't chase validation. He doesn't argue over every misunderstanding, and he doesn't waste his energy trying to prove his worth. He knows that his peace is sacred and not everyone deserves access to it. Many women are attracted to men who have peace because that calm energy feels safe, but some women unconsciously or intentionally test it. They create small conflicts to feel relevant, to see how much power they have over your emotions. The moment you start reacting, they know they can control you. That's where most men lose their strength, by giving emotional control to someone who thrives on instability. Passion can be beautiful, but when it's rooted in insecurity, it becomes destructive. A peaceful relationship doesn't mean it's emotionless. It means emotions are handled with maturity, not manipulation. It means both people know how to disagree without disrespect and how to express love without creating dependency. The reason peace is greater than passion is that passion fades when problems arise, but peace sustains connection even in chaos. A woman who truly values you will bring calm, not confusion. She won't play mind games to get your attention or create drama to test your loyalty. She will value your presence because she knows your peace is your power. The wrong woman will disturb your focus, question your purpose, and make you doubt your path. But the right woman will protect your mental space like it's her own. She will understand that a peaceful man is a strong man, and that strength is what keeps love alive. So never confuse excitement with fulfillment. The thrill of passion might feel intoxicating, but it often burns out quickly, leaving nothing but emotional exhaustion. Peace, on the other hand, grows quietly. It's not loud, it's not dramatic, it's consistent. And consistency is what builds empires. When you prioritize peace, you're not rejecting love, you're defining its standard. You're saying, I refuse to let chaos feel like home. The moment a man values his peace above temporary passion, he becomes unstoppable. He begins to attract women who mirror his calm, not challenge it. And that's when love becomes powerful, when it adds to your peace instead of taking it away. Charm is magnetic. It catches your attention, pulls you in, and makes you believe you've found something special. But charm can also be the most deceptive mask a person wears. Many men fall into the trap of confusing charm for character. A woman's beauty, her confidence, her energy, all of it can be captivating. But what truly determines your happiness isn't how she looks when you meet her. It's how she behaves when life tests both of you. That's where character shows. Charm is how she attracts you, but character is how she keeps you. And if you build a relationship on attraction alone, you'll eventually realize that physical chemistry can't protect your peace, and attraction can't fix emotional chaos. A woman's mindset will either build your world or break it. You can't expect stability from someone who thrives on attention. You can't expect loyalty from someone who values admiration over integrity. Many women know how to play the part. They know what to say, how to act, how to make you feel important. But over time, their true nature surfaces. The woman who once made you feel like a king will start to compete with you for validation. The one who once admired your goals will start to resent your focus because it takes attention away from her. That's the danger of choosing charm over character. You end up falling for potential instead of principles. Character is what remains when the spark fades. It's how she handles conflict, how she speaks about others, how she treats people when no one is watching. A woman of character doesn't need to impress you. She inspires you. She doesn't need to control your emotions. She respects them. She doesn't need to dominate your space. She values your boundaries. Her beauty might draw your eyes, but her consistency will win your respect. And that's what lasts. Respect, not infatuation. A charming woman can make you feel alive for a moment, but a woman of character makes you grow for a lifetime. When you choose someone with depth, you choose emotional safety over emotional stimulation. You choose a woman who knows how to communicate instead of one who manipulates. You choose peace over performance. That's why men must look beyond surface level attraction. Ask yourself, does her presence calm you or confuse you? Does she challenge you to be better or pressure you to change to please her? Does she respect your purpose, or does she see your success as competition? The answers will tell you everything about her character. Charm without character is like a beautiful house built on sand. It looks good from the outside, but collapses when the storms come. And in every man's life, storms will come. There will be moments of struggle, pressure, and uncertainty. When that happens, the woman beside you will either add strength or add stress. If her loyalty depends on convenience, she will leave when things get hard. But if her loyalty is built on values, she will stand firm no matter how rough it gets. The truth is, beauty fades, attraction shifts, and charm wears off, but character only deepens with time. It's the quality that builds trust, and trust is the foundation of any lasting connection. When you choose character, you choose someone who grows with you, not against you. So stop chasing the woman who shines for the crowd and start valuing the one who brings light into your life when no one's watching. Because a man's peace and progress depend on the woman he chooses, and choosing character over charm is the most powerful decision he'll ever make. Accountability is one of the purest forms of love because it shows emotional maturity, respect, and the willingness to grow. When a woman can look at you and say, I was wrong, that's not weakness, that's strength. It means she values the relationship more than her ego. But when you're with a woman who never admits fault, who always finds a way to make you the villain, you're not in a relationship, you're in a battlefield. Every conversation becomes a fight for validation. Every disagreement turns into manipulation. And slowly you start to lose yourself trying to prove you're not the bad guy. That's how a man's peace is destroyed. Not by conflict, but by constant guilt. Many men think avoiding arguments means keeping peace, but peace without truth is just silence before the storm. A woman who loves you will correct herself, not just criticize you. She'll take responsibility when she's wrong, not twist the story to protect her pride. The reason accountability is love is because it takes humility to admit mistakes. It takes strength to say, I hurt you and I'll do better. That's real connection, when two people can face their flaws together instead of hiding behind blame. But a woman who refuses accountability will make you question your reality. She'll gaslight you until you start doubting your own memory, your feelings, your sanity. When a woman constantly plays the victim, she gains emotional control. Because the more you feel sorry for her, the more power she has over you. She knows you'll back down just to keep peace. You'll apologize for things you didn't even do, just to avoid her tears or her silence. But here's the truth. Love isn't about who wins the argument. It's about who values truth more than pride. Without accountability, there can be no growth, no healing, no trust. It's like building a house on broken ground. You can decorate it, you can pretend it's fine, but it will collapse under the weight of dishonesty. Real love requires two people who can self-reflect. When a woman has emotional intelligence, she doesn't see accountability as an attack. She sees it as an opportunity to become better. She understands that being wrong doesn't make her unworthy, it makes her human. But the moment she starts defending her ego instead of the relationship, the bond starts to die. You'll find yourself exhausted trying to communicate with someone who listens only to respond, not to understand. You'll start shrinking just to avoid another emotional explosion. That's not love, that's survival. The woman who avoids accountability often hides behind emotional manipulation. She might cry, withdraw, or even use affection to distract from her mistakes. But love that avoids truth isn't love, it's control. Accountability doesn't destroy relationships, it strengthens them. Because every time you both take responsibility, you rebuild trust. You show each other that honesty is more important than pride. And that's the foundation of peace. Men must understand that the most attractive quality in a woman is not how she looks, but how she handles herself when she's wrong. A woman who can own her mistakes without making you feel small is a woman worth keeping. She won't shame you for expressing your emotions. She'll help you grow through them. She won't weaponize her feelings. She'll use them to connect deeper. That's what emotional maturity looks like. So if you're with someone who always blames, who refuses reflection, and who uses guilt as a weapon, walk away, because love without accountability becomes manipulation. A real woman doesn't fear being wrong. She fears losing integrity. And when you find that kind of woman, you'll understand that love isn't about perfection. It's about responsibility. True love doesn't avoid hard truths. It embraces them. And accountability is the bridge that turns ordinary affection into unbreakable trust. Support is the foundation of real love, because without it, even the strongest man eventually breaks. A woman who truly loves you will not compete with your vision. She will contribute to it. She will see your ambition not as a threat, but as a purpose she's proud to stand beside. Every great man who built something meaningful had a woman who believed in him when no one else did. That's the kind of feminine energy that empowers, not controls. When a man is supported, he becomes more confident, more focused, and more powerful. But when a man is constantly criticized, mocked, or made to feel like his dreams are unrealistic, his spirit begins to fade. And once a man loses belief in himself, everything around him starts to crumble. Many men fall for women who are attracted to their potential, but not their process. They love the image of success, not the struggle that builds it the moment life gets hard. When he's working late, planning or building his vision, she complains about being neglected. She doesn't understand that greatness requires sacrifice. She doesn't see that his temporary distance is part of his devotion. A supportive woman knows the difference between being ignored and being loved through action. She gives him space to focus and faith to keep going. That's emotional intelligence. A woman who truly supports you doesn't need constant attention to feel secure. She understands that her man's time invested in his purpose is also an investment in their future. Her encouragement becomes his fuel. Her belief becomes his strength. When she says, I trust you, it's not just words, it's empowerment. She becomes his calm in chaos, his motivation in doubt. That's the power of feminine support. It doesn't demand, it inspires. But when a woman disrespects your purpose, she begins to destroy your drive. She'll question your decisions, mock your goals, and subtly plant seeds of doubt. She might say things like, you're wasting your time, or you should be doing something else, not realizing that those words cut deeper than any insult. Because to a man with purpose, doubt from his woman feels like betrayal. When a man is with a woman who doesn't support him, he starts shrinking, he stops sharing his dreams, stops talking about his plans, and eventually stops dreaming altogether. That's what emotional neglect does. It kills ambition quietly. Men need to realize that not every beautiful woman is a partner. And not every intelligent woman is supportive. True support isn't loud. It's in the small things. The words of encouragement when he's tired, the patience when he's focused, the trust when he's uncertain. It's in her presence, not her pressure. A man must choose a woman who understands the weight of his vision because his purpose is part of his identity. Take that away and you take away his strength. The wrong woman will compete with your mission because she doesn't see herself as part of it. But the right woman will stand with you, not behind you, because she knows that your success is shared. A supportive woman doesn't need to control. She chooses to contribute. She doesn't demand your energy. She amplifies it. In a world where many relationships are built on ego and competition, finding a woman who supports your purpose is rare and powerful. That's the kind of connection that builds legacies, not just memories. So don't choose the woman who only wants to be seen beside your success. Choose the one who helps you reach it. Because when you find that woman, you'll understand that real love doesn't limit your ambition, it liberates it. A woman who supports your purpose doesn't just love who you are, she believes in who you're becoming. And that's the kind of love that turns a man's dreams into reality. Emotional control is one of the greatest powers a man can have. It's not about suppressing emotions, it's about mastering them. When a man reacts to everything, he becomes predictable. And when he's predictable, he's controllable. Many women, consciously or not, test a man's emotional strength to see if he can handle pressure. They'll say things to provoke him, do things to get a reaction, or even withdraw affection just to see how much power they hold. The moment a man loses his composure, he loses his power. Because emotional control isn't just about staying calm, it's about staying grounded in truth when your feelings want to take over. A man who can't manage his emotions will always be managed by someone else. In relationships, emotional control separates men who lead from men who follow. When you argue with a woman who thrives on drama, you feed the very energy that drains you. You can't reason with chaos, you can only refuse to engage it. The more you react, the more she knows she owns your mood. But when you stay calm, when you respond with logic instead of emotion, you shift the balance of power. That's when a woman realizes you're not just another man she can manipulate. You're grounded, stable, and self-aware. Emotional control doesn't mean being emotionless. It means being wise enough to know when to speak, when to act, and when to walk away. A man who has mastered his emotions doesn't chase validation. He doesn't need to prove his worth in arguments or defend himself against disrespect. He understands that silence can be stronger than shouting and walking away can be louder than any words, because peace isn't found in winning the argument, it's found in not needing to have it. Many men think dominance means control over others, but true dominance starts with control over self. When you can stay centered even when provoked, you become untouchable. No one can manipulate you because you don't operate on emotion, you operate on awareness. The problem is that many men are emotionally reactive because they were taught to seek approval. They were told that love means constant engagement, that real men fight for attention, that being emotional makes you real. But what's often missing is balance. Being in touch with your emotions is powerful, but being ruled by them is destructive. When you let anger, jealousy, or insecurity guide your actions, you make decisions from weakness, not wisdom. And that's exactly what emotional manipulation feeds on. The less control you have over yourself, the easier it is for someone to control you. A calm man is dangerous in the best way. He doesn't need to prove himself because his confidence speaks through his composure. He doesn't explode when tested because he knows emotional reactions cost him more than silence ever will. He doesn't beg, chase, or argue for attention because he understands that peace is worth more than approval. That's masculine energy at its highest form, power under control. When you master emotional control, you change how people treat you. You stop attracting drama and start commanding respect. Women who used to play mind games lose interest because they can't shake your balance. People who thrived on your reactions start feeling powerless around your calm. That's when you reclaim authority over your life, because no matter how beautiful or persuasive someone is, they can't influence a man who refuses to be emotionally reactive. So understand this. Emotional control isn't coldness, it's clarity. It's the discipline to stay steady when the world around you wants you to fall apart. It's knowing that your response determines your reality. The man who can't control his emotions becomes a slave to them, but the man who masters them becomes free. And that freedom, the ability to choose peace over provocation, is the highest form of power a man can ever possess.